we were talking about.
Well, I think we better skip the war now, don't you?
Well, I was going to go on and ask you now your duties, your staff duties.
Well, I had mornings. Well, we divided it up any way we wanted to. I don't know how the rest of them did it, but I took on particularly the letter writing. We had there during the Battle of the Bulge, we were having a turnover, so we were acting as an evac, although we were a general because
as a what?
An evacuation hospital,
evacuation.
Because they were they were flying patients to us straight from the front, rolled up in a blanket.
Oh, really?
And then we would have to decide where they would go, because we were getting convoys of about every 2 to 3 weeks, and we had to get rid of them that fast. Though we were 1,500 bed hospital, we had to process them and get them out. Either ZI them, send them back to the zone of interior, which was flying back to this country. I'll put them on a hospital ship, or to another specialized general hospital somewhere in England. Either if it was a face injury or eyes, and we were just general, and they required specific orthopedic work. And of course, we sent them back to this country if they had to have really special treatment.
Was it sort of like the MASH program?
Yes, we had to get them out to special good because they were coming back in.
Oh, for goodness.
And so we prided ourselves in my hospital in seeing a Red Cross worker saw every patient who passed through that hospital.
Oh, really?
And the first thing they asked was, have you been in any other hospital? Has anybody written home? We wanted to get a letter to their family from that patient before that message went from the War Department saying, we regret to inform you that your son has been injured in combat. Well, if we got a letter to him saying, but hey, Mom, I'm
going to be all right.
I've been wounded, but I'm in a hospital, and we could say the west of England. That was as near as we could come to locating it. And I probably will not be going back to active duty. That always made the families feel so good. And so we would, if they could write, we made them write the letter. If they couldn't, we wrote the letter, but made them sign it. If we had to hold a hand, and we had little tricks. We would say, now we want your mother to know or your wife to know that this letter is from you, that we're not just making it up. So would you please, in some way, mention somebody in your family or in your household that we couldn't possibly know about? Do you have a dog? Well, then, what's his name? Well, then ask how Towser's doing, or something, so they'll know that letter is from you. Or mention your younger brothers and sisters, or something that we couldn't possibly know. So they'll know that letter's from you, and that you're in your right mind, and that you are dictating that letter.
Splendid.
And we did get them. See, Red Cross had a courier service. We could get them through faster sometimes than the Army. And we just took special pride in doing that.
Oh, that must have been a rewarding job,
well,
too.
And do you know that to this day, the 123rd General, which was mine in England, has the head of the dental unit, we call Pappy Glennon, from up in...
Pappy who?
Glennon, up in, he lives up in Woburn, Massachusetts, has kept them together.
Oh, really?
He keeps correspondence with everybody in that unit. And we have started having reunions. Every other year they have a reunion in Ohio. I went to the first one, but I haven't been there since. And more and more, they try to find the people. They ran advertisements. They ran radio things to say anybody connected with the 123rd General Hospital that was located near Hereford, England, please contact. And they had the people from the contact, and then told them that we were having a reunion. Now, I had a note from Pappy at Christmas time, and we're having more ex-patients from there. And one man at the first reunion came over to me and said, well, Miss Franny, I bet you don't remember me. And I looked at him and I said, should I?
Awesome.
He said, well, you wrote letters to my wife the whole time I was at the 123rd. And he's a double, has lost both hands. He has artificial tongue things, And he brought his wife over and introduced her. Now, this is the lady that wrote all those letters for me when I was at the 123rd. But the patients have got in touch, and they come back to these reunions, and they just have a ball.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Now, looking back in the war years, I remember somewhat of them. I was younger and that sort of thing.
Yes,
There were
much
some dark
younger.
days there, weren't
Oh, we were losing that war around Christmas of '44 during the Battle of the Bulge. We had a lot of field artillery units squatted with us because they had got that far and they needed the materiel so much more in Europe than they needed the men. But they just stranded the soldiers in the units in England and shipped their warfare, their guns and tanks and things onto the continent, and they were stuck there for a little while. But no, they were flying them back to us. One boy, I remember, I met him, and we met every convoy and put their week's PX ration, threw it on their litter as it went past, and lit cigarettes for them, whatever they needed. I remember one boy, I went into the ward and said, "Son, have you been in touch with your family since you were wounded? Has anybody?" See, sometimes they would have been through a hospital in Paris or somewhere, and a Red Cross worker would already have written. So I said, "Has anybody helped you to contact your family?" And he looked at me and he says, "What is today?" I told him. He said, "What's the date?" And I told him, he says, "Lord God Almighty, man, this time yesterday I was shooting my gun." Now that's how fast they were flying them back to us from the field units
You were
to the
right.
west of England. And they wouldn't have any uniforms. But one of the things we did was alter their uniforms. And the women in the village nearby, I finally recruited them to come and help us because they'd fly those boys in with nothing but a blanket.
Is that?
And then in a few days they'd get their arms set or whatever we're doing, and they could get leave to go into town, and they could draw uniforms from our quartermaster, but none of them fit. So the only thing we do, we would shorten the breeches for them so they wouldn't drag or let them out, and do the minor alterations. But we put a big sign up over my desk saying we do not guarantee our work.
Oh, that's
But those lovely British women would come in and take arms full of the uniforms. We'd put them, the boys would mark them. They'd get each other in the wards to mark them for them at the end. And then the women would come with baskets and take them home and alter them and bring them back.
Now, what places in Europe were you stationed?
Well, I was near Herefordshire, near Hereford, in Herefordshire, which is over in the west of England, on the edge of Wales. And then in the Battle of the Bulge, when they were under such fire in Europe, they pulled me out and sent me to Paris first for reassignment, and sent me then into Liège to the 56th General. They had been, the 56th General was the first general hospital to land in Normandy. They were with the invasion and went on through Saint-Lô and across Holland and into Liège. And they had been under fire for so long. One Red Cross worker had been wounded. So that was in a direct line with the buzz bombs from Germany to England. And they, I was in London a bit of the time, but not on duty, just long enough to be bummed out of my bed 2 or 3 times.
Oh my!
But then I went up to Belgium, and I stayed there until Germany surrendered. And that hospital had so many. They had so many points. You see, they started sending them home according to points. So they were going to deactivate the 56th General, and they pulled me back into Paris then to send me to the Pacific. And I was en route from staging area in Reims, Rhine. Soldiers all said,